Hello everybody, I'm Andy McDaniel and welcome back to Critical Point. And last time we unlocked 2 endings, 4 and 5, and we've already got 6 unlocked. That was our first playthrough, so now we're gonna go for 7. And to get to 7, it's much like endings 2 and 4. It's mostly the same choices. The first 9 choices are the same. That seems to be a recurring on and off theme. Half the endings, it's like split down the middle. Half the endings require the same set of the first 9 choices in one order, and the other half requires the same 9 choices in another order. So, to get to ending 7, we need to tell him to switch it to manual control, talk to Rico some more, go to my compartment, ask, is it always like this around here? Excuse me. 5, do as Lei Wong says. 6, have Rico order dinner for me. 7, give myself some lead time and leave for CIC now. 8, go on to CIC alone. 9, I'll just leave her alone for now. And then 10, okay, it's the first 10 choices. 10, I can't sleep with this kid. Oh wait, hold on. Let me check this room. Oh, that's different. Okay, so the first 9 choices are the same, only in endings 2 and 4, which are basically the same damn ending anyway. We get killed. We have sex with Rico. This ending, we're not gonna have sex with Rico, and then after that, it's new choices. So I'll skip ahead until after we resist Rico's sweet ass. So be right back. Alright, I'm just gonna start it here because I don't know what all is gonna be different. I just turned down Rico and all that, and I was zooming ahead past that to get to the next choice because I thought it was gonna be the same. Turns out it's not, so I had to go back and remake all the choices. So I'm just gonna start it here to see what's different. Alright, cool. I woke up to the alarm from the terminal. I stretched, then took a hot shower and shaved. I turned to the terminal to order breakfast. I called up the meal function and the basic menu was displayed. Exactly the same as yesterday. I seem to have developed a pattern already. Should I call Rico? No, forget it. I ordered the morning B set. In about 30 seconds, a sandwich, eggs sunny side up, and coffee-like items came out of the chute. There's no use complaining about it. I scoffed it down, but it really wasn't even worth tasting. After filling my stomach and dumping out the rest of the acidic-tasting coffee, I began to outline my schedule for the day. Suddenly, there was the sound of an explosion and the ground shook beneath my feet. Oh yeah, every other time we've had sex with Rico and she's been here giving us breakfast. So it's slightly different now. Awesome. What the heck? It wasn't an air attack. An explosion in a vacuum wouldn't produce sound waves, you moron. And I wouldn't feel the vibrations either, you idiot. If it was big enough in a vacuum to be felt here, this room would be reduced to rubble. Therefore, it must be from within the base. And close, too. Was it from an attack? But I couldn't imagine that could happen now. All base functions had been restored. As long as the base functions were operating, there couldn't be an attack without some type of warning. I called up the terminal. Computer, report on the sound of an explosion and the accompanying vibrations.
B1、B2、スペースポートエリアにおいてアクシデント。詳細は現在調査中。
An accident? Or was it sabotage? I rushed out of my room. Fortunately, I found the spaceport ready room without getting lost. A few commandos had already arrived. I saw that Corporal Treppo was among them. I listened to the conversation. We'll have to get to the spacesuits, Treppo said. We can take down the wall for this block, but what about air loss? Commando A asked. How about going around from the outside? Commando B asked. From this side of the door, it looked like nothing had happened. If nobody went inside, there'd be no way to determine what had happened. I began to operate the mechanism to open the door, like a moron. Oh, Captain Sir, don't open that, Treppo said. Treppo called out suddenly for me to desist. What's the matter? We can't tell what happened from out here, I said. Beyond the door is a vacuum. Without proper preparation and equipment, we'll all be sucked out when the door is opened, Treppo said. Didn't understand why she was scared of a vacuum. She is a woman after all. She should be quite used to such things as those. What? I said. I couldn't believe what she was saying. What the hell happened? And how do they know this? Just as I was about to ask my questions, Treppo continued speaking. That's what the witnesses said. Witnesses, plural, you say? Oh, that's interesting. Witnesses? I looked towards where Treppo was pointing and saw Elise and Monica sitting in the shadows behind the commandos. I hadn't noticed them previously. Ooh, Monica lives in this playthrough. Interesting. Both of them had ripped clothes and had suffered burns. It looked like something really bad had happened. I walked over to them. Elise, what happened? Monica was mumbling to herself. You two saw it? Monica seemed to be in shock. Then Elise whispered something in my ear so that nobody else could overhear her. She told me her panties are so wet right now. Huh? Oh, alright. Sure, why not? I knew she must have something important to report to me. I turned to Corporal Treppo. Corporal Treppo? As I called her over to where we were, I came up with a reason to leave the area. Al explained that I needed to take Elise to Sickbay. I told the corporal my excuse. Lieutenant Triad looks pretty bad. I'll accompany her to Sickbay. You take care of things here.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Leave it to me, Treppo said. She puffed out her chest as she saluted me. Oh, those titties. I got up and pretended to assist Elise to her feet, but Monica got up too. Yeah, she seems fine. She doesn't seem in shock at all. She's still grinning like an idiot. She's wearing different clothing though. That's interesting. You're injured, aren't you? Okay, I won't. She still had wounds here and there though. She'd be in the way, but she did need to go to Sickbay as well. Monica tapped her 3D video camera. Really? Okay. Right. Come on then. Monica and I each took one of Elise's shoulders as we led her out of the room. Monica, Elise, and I arrived at Sickbay. The medical facilities here were unmanned. They can be operated manually, but for the most part, the medical computer simply makes a diagnosis and dispenses drugs to perform surgery, as needed. It was far from adequate, but it was good for covering up Elise's true nature. Monica, lie down on the medical sensor bed. Monica protested. That's why you're going first. Lieutenant Triad will take longer. We'll finish you up quickly. Yes, it's so. Monica didn't seem convinced. However, there was no way I could allow the press to discover that Elise was actually an android. Elise was worried about that too. See? Get up there while you're talking. You're a civilian after all. Yes, that's how it's gonna work. Now do what I say, Monica! Muttering under her breath, Monica got onto the medical sensor bed. While Elise and I looked on, the fully automatic medical sensor scanned Monica's entire body, then pronounced its prognosis. Some light burns and minor cuts. A tube of some medical ointment came out of a chute in the wall. I handed the tube to Monica. Put this on your injuries. Your wounds will heal in a few hours.
へえ、説明は聞いていたけど便利なもんだね。
Yes, it is, isn't it? Yes, you can go back to your room now. I have to treat Lieutenant Triad. Monica chuckled.
んなこと言って、二人きりになったら少尉さんに変なことするんじゃねえだろうな。
Probably. But, fuck off so I can. What are you saying? If you're here, she'll be uncomfortable, so just go.
冗談だよ。じゃあな、少尉さん。あんた命の恩人だ。忘れないぜ。
Monica left sickbay. Elise giggled slightly after the door had closed behind Monica.
本当に扱いが大変そうな人ですね。
Yes, yes, she is, and she hasn't even shown me her tits even once during this game. But honestly, are you alright? You might be tougher than a normal human, but you were still caught up in a shuttle explosion.
確かに外部組織に損傷を受けましたが、もう少しで完全に修復します。
Oh, that's good. She seems so much like a regular shy girl. Still, she's really an android. My mind clouded suddenly. Elise is an android. That's an undeniable fact. And an android is shit. A mechanical doll that does whatever it's ordered to do. Like piss in jars. A monster who made me feel the way I do. No, Elise is not like that. The voice of denial rang out in my head, pushing back my line of reasoning. What's wrong with me, William Shatner? At the keyword android, air quotes, old memories from my past were trying to surface. Years ago, I had been tortured in an enemy camp when my fighter had been shot down. An old rust bucket android had taken this sentence again. An old rust bucket android had taken off my real arm during the torture. I didn't want to remember that.
どうかしましたか?
Elise looked at me worriedly. I snapped back to reality. I had blacked out while the memories from my past had been whirling around inside my head. Elise is nothing like that thing that had tortured me. Right? I tried to be rational, but that old wound comes back to haunt me sometimes. There's a part of me that rejects androids. I had to overcome that. At least Elise was just like a human being in most ways. Specifically the titties. I shook my head to clear my mind. Well, what about it? Why were you in the spaceport in the first place?
私はモニカさんからインタビューを受けていたんです。そうしたら、シャトルが出発するところも取材したいからというもので。
Oh, I'm wondering if I missed a little snippet of different information when I was talking with Carla where she decided not to kick Monica off the base. Oh well, I ain't going back to find it. Whatever. We're here now. Let's just trudge on. You were on your way to the port when you were caught up in the explosion, huh? Elise nodded as I went on. So, what happened?
はい、シャトル事故は破壊工作の可能性があります。
What? How do you know that?
管制室とシャトルの交信を傍受しました。確定はできませんが、シャトルの操作系に妨害が入っていた恐れが非常に高い確率で推察できます。
I see. I thought that this might be the case. It seemed to be sabotage, all right, no doubt about it. The upbeat shuttle pilot and the constantly complaining co-pilot had died, along with whoever was manning the control room. Our unknown saboteur had begun to take direct action. There was no time for sorrow. The only thing we could do for the dead was to find their killer. But who could it be? Faces flipped through my mind rapidly. The killer had to be on the base. In that case, the only ones not suspect are those who had just died. That narrowed it down. Have you told the commander about this?
いえ、まだです。
Perhaps this should be reported to the commander. No, the possibility was slim, but she was still a suspect. Keep this from the others until I say otherwise. Do not tell anyone.
はい、わかりました。
Elise nodded and spoke up about something else.
それから、
There's more.
先ほど大尉殿は一瞬ですが酩酊したような状態になりましたが、
She had
何
noticed.
か衝動があったのではありませんか？粗暴なものとか性欲とか。
Oh man, you're programmed for psychoanalysis too? She wasn't being sarcastic. She just... We've already been through this, so I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Okay, here's something slightly different. Now that I thought about it, Rico and Monica didn't seem to be affected to any degree. Alright, we're sure there's a saboteur on the base. With what we already know, can you think of a cause for this behavior? We're going to go to drugs.
考えられる。
Alright, this is slightly different. I left the murder scene and went to Monica's compartment. Now, I think I'm going to end this episode here because it seems like we're getting into more new stuff, so it might actually have enough content to justify splitting the episode in two, kind of. So anyway, I am Andy McDaniel. Thank you for watching. Until the next one, see yas.